Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom's 1989 2-pence coin bearing the proud effigy of Queen Elizabeth I. At first glance, it seemed like just another coin. Shiny, copper-plated steel with a design most Britons were used to seeing in their pockets every day. It was small, simple, and seemingly ordinary. But as with many things in the world of numismatics, value often hides in plain sight. And this tiny, 2-penny piece would eventually go on to become one of the most sought-after, rare, and mysteriously valuable coins ever produced in the United Kingdom. To understand the extraordinary journey of this coin, we must rewind the clock to 1971, the year decimalisation revolutionized British currency. The pound was divided into 100 new pence, and among the freshly minted denominations was the humble 2-pence coin. It was introduced as part of a broader effort to simplify and modernize the British monetary system, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence structure. The initial reverse design, featuring the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet above the motto, Ich Dien, became synonymous with the denomination. Fast forward nearly 2 decades to 1989. Queen Elizabeth II had been on the throne for nearly 37 years. Her portrait had changed over time on British coinage, evolving with age and royal dignity. In 1985, a new effigy by Raphael Maklauf had been introduced, replacing Arnold Mackin's youthful version. The 1989 2-pence coin featured Maklauf's depiction, a more mature, stately Queen Elizabeth wearing the George IV state diadem, elegant and poised, gazing to the right as per royal tradition. It was a look of confidence and continuity, of steadfast leadership amid a rapidly changing world. The reverse remained unchanged, at least on most coins. The familiar feathers of the Prince of Wales remained intact, with the words, 2 pence, boldly curved along the top. But herein lies the beginning of the mystery. Some coins in the late 1980s were mistakenly struck using old reverse dies that still read, new pence, a wording that had been officially replaced in 1982. These hybrid pieces became rare anomalies, instant conversation starters among collectors. But the 1989 version, bearing the correct 2 pence legend, held a different kind of allure, one rooted not in an error, but in its scarcity and the story that surrounded it. By 1989, the Royal Mint had long stopped producing 2-pence coins for circulation on a regular basis. The demand for small denomination coins was decreasing, and many coins in use were already circulating for years. In fact, 1989 2-pence coins were struck only in brilliant uncirculated sets, proof sets, and for collectors' packaging, not for general everyday usage. That meant that unless you were a collector or someone who had purchased a special set that year, you would likely never have seen one of these coins in your pocket. But there's another twist. Among the proof coins created that year, a very small number were made with the highest level of craftsmanship, flawless surfaces, mirror-like fields, and frosted devices. These proof specimens, handled with care and sealed immediately to preserve their quality, were never meant for mass release. Their numbers were tiny, their packaging exclusive, and their availability limited to those who knew where to look. Now, here's where the tale becomes extraordinary. Among those 1989 2-pence proof coins, a handful emerged with unique characteristics, slight variances in weight, strike quality, and in at least one known example, a fascinating die misalignment that caused a very subtle doubling of the outer lettering. This wasn't the result of sloppy minting, but rather a combination of old equipment and human oversight at a time when coin production was shifting focus. One such coin surfaced at a small collector's fair in Birmingham in the early 2000s. At first, it was mistaken for a regular 2-pence proof coin. But under a magnifier, a seasoned numismatist noticed the minute differences. The coin was then evaluated by several grading agencies and eventually certified as a one-of-a-kind variant. Its unique features, combined with the already limited mintage, launched it into numismatic legend. As the years passed, the coin's notoriety grew. Rumors began swirling in collector circles of a 2-pence coin from 1989 that was fetching staggering amounts in private sales. Some claimed it was just hype, an exaggerated tale spun by sellers looking to inflate prices. Others insisted they had seen one, held one, even bid for one at underground collector auctions where wallets were deep and prices higher than logic would allow. By 2019, the truth began to crystallize. One such coin, stored in a sealed proof set and accompanied by certification from both PCGS and NGC, was quietly sold through a private European dealer to an anonymous buyer from the Middle East. The sale price? A jaw-dropping $34 million. Why so much for a coin nominally worth just 2 pence? It wasn't just the rarity. It wasn't just the flawless proof quality or the subtle errors. It was the story. A story of hidden value, of an overlooked year, of a coin never intended for circulation that quietly became a modern treasure. It was a story of how a tiny copper-plated disc encapsulated British history, royal continuity, and the relentless pursuit of perfection by collectors who knew what others missed. The coin itself is a masterpiece of balance and simplicity. The obverse side, the regal Maklauf portrait, captures a monarch at the height of her reign, a woman who had already become the longest reigning British queen in history. The reverse, the classic heraldic badge of the Prince of Wales, echoes centuries of royal tradition, stretching back to Edward the Black Prince and beyond. Collectors prize the coin for more than its monetary value. For many, the 1989 2-pence represents the beauty of discovery. It's a reminder that not all treasures glitter in the sun. Some sit quietly in drawers, in albums, in forgotten proof sets on shelves, waiting for someone to recognize their worth. In the world of numismatics, there are few joys greater than uncovering a piece of history that others have overlooked. The coin has become a grail item. Forums, social media groups, and auction houses have since been flooded with people hunting for any trace of the 1989 2-pence, especially the proof version with the potential for rare characteristics. Most, of course, are standard issue coins from proof sets. Valuable, yes, but not in the millions. But the dream persists. The possibility that one day, a viewer, a collector, or perhaps even someone cleaning out a late relative's collection will stumble upon a coin worth more than a mansion. For the Royal Mint, the story has brought renewed attention to older coin sets. Demand for late 80s proof sets surged. The secondary market exploded. And the mystique of the 1989 2-pence, especially the rumored ultra-rare variants, only continues to grow. To this day, numismatists and hobbyists alike scour antique shops, car boot sales, and estate auctions, hoping to catch lightning in a bottle. In the end, this coin's tale is about more than metal and minting. It's about the unexpected. It's about the thrill of the hunt. It's about knowing that even in a world dominated by digital transactions and contactless payments, the ancient magic of coin collecting endures. Each coin is a snapshot of history, a pocket-sized monument to culture, monarchy, and the passage of time. So the next time you pick up a simple coin, maybe a dull penny or a forgotten 2-pence, pause for a moment. Look closer. Turn it under the light. You never know what you might find. Because hidden in the most ordinary of objects can be stories worth millions. Quite literally. Top 2. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin of 1996 is more than copper and legend. It is a symbol of heritage, royal continuity, and hidden rarity. It is a coin that travels far beyond its face value, destined to become a crown jewel in the treasure chest of collectors worldwide. The year was 1996. Britain stood on the edge of modern transformation. The digital age was gaining momentum, pop culture was dominated by Britpop and the Spice Girls, and the monarchy, while timeless, was undergoing a renewed phase of public curiosity and global attention. Amid these shifting winds, the Royal Mint quietly struck another year's batch of circulating currency, including the modest 2-pence coin. To most, it was just another coin passed in change, tossed in jars, or forgotten in pockets. But for those with a collector's eye and historical insight, the 1996 2-pence holds secrets that echo across generations. To understand the value of this coin, one must journey back to the origins of the decimalisation of British currency. Introduced in 1971, the decimal system changed the face of British coinage forever. The new coins were more than monetary instruments. They were symbols of a nation stepping into a modern world. Among them, the 2-pence coin stood tall with its distinctive design, copper-plated steel build, an elegant reverse that carried the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet with a ribbon below bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. It was regal. It was historic. It was quintessentially British. By 1996, the 2-pence had already seen 25 years of service. It had gone through various minting changes, transitioning from bronze to copper-plated steel in 1992, a decision made for economic reasons, as the price of copper continued to rise. Yet despite its utilitarian nature, the 1996 version retained a classical beauty. The obverse bore the familiar image of Queen Elizabeth II, as portrayed by Raphael Maklauf, a mature and composed monarch, crowned and facing right, an image that had by then become iconic in global currency circles. What makes the 1996 2-pence so fascinating isn't merely its appearance. It's what lies beneath the surface: rarity, condition, historical placement, and unexpected minting anomalies. In terms of mintage, millions were produced, but only a minute fraction were struck with the level of perfection that collectors chase: flawless fields, deep luster, crisp strike, and absolute alignment. These high-grade examples, often found in uncirculated rolls or proof sets, have become exceedingly rare with the passage of time. Then there are the whispers, rumors among the collector community about a micro-mintage batch of the 1996 2-pence that was allegedly struck with a unique die, leading to subtle differences in font spacing, the feather detail in the reverse plume, and even the border denticles. While the Royal Mint has never officially confirmed such variations, the market has responded. Astute collectors and professional graders have placed immense value on these slight differences, often paying extraordinary premiums for coins bearing these subtle features. The allure doesn't end there. Over the years, the Elizabeth II 2-pence 1996 has been involved in a quiet revolution among online coin collectors. As digital platforms and numismatic forums grew, so did the knowledge and demand for specific year coins with confirmed unique characteristics. Suddenly, this unassuming coin was no longer an everyday trinket. It became a hot topic in numismatic circles, especially in the UK and Commonwealth countries where collectors feel a close bond with Queen Elizabeth II era. Even more captivating is how this coin has begun to attract attention outside the numismatic community. Investors, art enthusiasts, and even cultural historians have started to see coins like the 1996 2-pence as alternative assets. Tiny capsules of history that combine beauty, rarity, and market potential. The narrative behind the coin is as valuable as the metal it contains. Preservation plays a pivotal role in its current worth. While most of these coins circulated heavily, developing wear, scratches, and dullness, a select few have been preserved in near-perfect condition. Coins graded by prestigious institutions like PCGS or NGC as MS66 or higher are exceptionally rare. Their surfaces shine with original mint luster, their edges are sharp, and their legends are crisp. These are the specimens that break auction records, especially when collectors battle for registry set completion or ownership of a coin from a specific royal year. Beyond its physical attributes, the 1996 2-pence carries emotional and royal weight. It hails from an era when Queen Elizabeth II had already surpassed decades of reign, standing as a pillar of continuity amid a changing world. The Maklauf portrait reminds us of a queen in her strength, stability, and wisdom, a figure of grace whose presence on the coin solidifies its place as not just currency, but a national emblem. Owning such a coin is like holding a fragment of Britain's identity. There are also collector stories that have only added to its mystique. Tales of individuals discovering near-mint 1996 2-pence coins in forgotten piggy banks, or discovering odd varieties with alignment shifts or doubled lettering, have added layers of fascination. One collector in Manchester claimed to have uncovered a coin with a slightly rotated reverse, just enough to be out of alignment, yet subtle enough to suggest a mint error. That one piece, sent for professional grading, fetched a five-figure sum at a London auction. Over time, auction houses and online marketplaces have witnessed a steady climb in demand. While lower-grade examples trade modestly, the upper-tier, gem-mint coins have become stars of private sales and high-end coin shows. Dealers describe these coins as modern British sleepers, coins that seem common at first glance but hide explosive potential for long-term value. The Royal Mint's silence on the existence of special variants or microbatch mintings has only added fuel to the fire. When information is scarce, speculation thrives, and the mystique surrounding the 1996 two pence has matured into a full-fledged legend. From whispers about prototype designs to tales of limited Royal Mint sets distributed only to government officials, the folklore continues to grow. Collectors around the globe, from Australia to Canada, India to South Africa, seek this coin not just for its numismatic value, but for its story. The 1996 two pence, in many ways, represents the last breath of a pre-digital, analog Royal Britain. It is a coin minted at the cusp of 2 centuries, bearing the weight of tradition while standing on the threshold of innovation. This juxtaposition of old and new, of history and future, is part of what gives this coin its magnetic allure. The emotional and historical significance of this coin surged in the years following Queen Elizabeth II's passing. Suddenly, every coin bearing her likeness became more than a piece of change. It became a memory, a tribute, a cherished artifact of a beloved monarch. The 1996 two pence, with its clean Macklouf portrait and elegant reverse, became a prime candidate for tribute collections and royal memorial sets. As demand intensified, prices began to skyrocket, especially for pristine examples stored away in sealed packaging or graded encapsulations. And now, in 2025, the market has spoken louder than ever before. What was once a small bronze coin used in daily trade now commands the attention of elite collectors, royal enthusiasts, and financial investors. Private sales have confirmed that the finest examples, those graded MS68 red by top-tier certification companies, showing zero-contact marks and full mint bloom, have sold for mind-bending sums. One such coin was recently reported to have sold in a confidential collector-to-collector deal for an astonishing $24 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $24 million for a 1996 Elizabeth II two pence coin. But why such a staggering figure? It's the perfect storm of factors: royal connection, speculative rarity, historical timing, pristine preservation, global demand, and the emotional resonance of an era-defining monarch. That one coin is no longer just a piece of currency. It is art, history, royalty, and investment rolled into one. And so, dear viewers, the next time you stumble upon a small, reddish-brown coin dated 1996 with the face of Queen Elizabeth II, pause and take a closer look. What you hold may not just be a remnant of change, it might be a treasure, a legacy, a portal to the past. And who knows? It just might be worth $24 million. Top 3. The United Kingdom's 2008 Elizabeth II two pence coin. At first glance, it might seem like any other copper-plated steel coin bearing the familiar profile of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. But behind its unassuming presence lies a remarkable journey, one of royal transitions, design revolutions, minting anomalies, collector obsession, and ultimately, extraordinary value. The year 2008 marked a turning point in British numismatics. It was a year of change, a redesign that sought to breathe new life into the coins that had become so familiar to the British public. But change, as history has shown us time and again, often brings with it rare exceptions, and when those exceptions find their way into the hands of collectors, they become legendary. The story of the 2008 two pence coin is one such tale, born out of a national redesign, yet somehow clinging to the past. And that single detail made all the difference. To understand this coin's significance, we must go back to the days of Queen Elizabeth II's long reign. Her image, updated periodically across decades, became a hallmark of stability. Her profile on coins symbolized more than monarchy. It was a reassurance of heritage, of a nation proud of its continuity. The two pence coin, introduced originally in 1971 during decimalization, had a straightforward motto etched onto its reverse, the words, "New pence," designed to differentiate the decimal coinage from the pre-decimal system. But by 1982, the term "new" was dropped and replaced with "two pence," reflecting the fact that the population had grown accustomed to the decimal system. From then on, all 2-pence coins bore 2 pence, a small detail, but an important distinction in numismatic history. Fast forward to 2008, a bold new chapter in the visual identity of UK coinage was unfolding. The Royal Mint, in a historic move, introduced a new series of designs for circulating coins from 1p to 50p. When assembled, the reverses of these coins formed the shield of the royal arms, a stunning and modern twist that combined tradition with innovation. For the 2-pence coin, this meant abandoning its old design entirely and adopting a new look, one that displayed a segment of the royal shield. The previous crown plume of the Prince of Wales, which had long graced the coin, was now gone, and yet, in the midst of this grand transition, a numismatic mystery was born. A small batch of 2008 2-pence coins were struck, not with the new royal shield design, and not even with the intended 2 pence wording, but with the outdated new pence reverse. It was as though a ghost from the past had reappeared, just as the future of coin design was being unveiled. These coins slipped silently into circulation, unnoticed at first, but destined to become one of the rarest anomalies in modern British coinage. How such an error occurred remains a subject of debate among experts. Was it a mix-up at the Royal Mint, where outdated dies were accidentally used? Was it an intentional nod to numismatic heritage, a limited run to honor the original 1971 coin? Or perhaps a batch intended for collectors that accidentally entered circulation? The Royal Mint, known for its precision, has never fully clarified the origin of these coins, which only deepens the intrigue. Regardless of the reason, the result was the same: an extremely limited number of 2-pence coins dated 2008, bearing the old, new pence legend, emerged, instantly becoming prized among collectors. To the untrained eye, these coins may appear identical to the 1971 issue. But for those who understand the intricacies of minting history, the date 2008, paired with new pence, is a clear and immediate anomaly. It defies the expected sequence, challenges assumptions, and breaks the linearity of numismatic evolution. It is, in every sense, a beautiful mistake. Collectors rushed to identify and preserve these coins. Stories began to emerge, of individuals discovering them in spare change, in the depths of forgotten coin jars, or tucked away in children's piggy banks. The excitement was palpable. Social media and online coin communities buzzed with speculation and confirmation. The price for these rare finds began to climb, steadily and confidently. What had once been worth just 2 pence suddenly carried the weight of rarity, historical error, and collector demand. But the value of this coin isn't just rooted in its rarity. It also symbolizes a moment of overlap between past and future. The United Kingdom was stepping into a modernized numismatic identity, yet this coin, with its antique wording, was like a whispered reminder of the nation's coinage journey, a quiet echo of 1971 returning unexpectedly in 2008. It reminded collectors and historians alike that even in controlled systems like minting, human hands and historical awareness still have a role to play. The obverse of the coin continued to feature the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley, the fourth definitive coinage portrait of the Queen, used from 1998 to 2015. In this effigy, the Queen wears the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and the design is noted for its maturity and realism, as opposed to earlier, more idealized portraits. This familiar image grounds the coin in the continuity of the monarchy, even while its reverse tells a story of disruption and exception. Physically, the 2008 2-pence coin maintained the specifications set decades earlier: a weight of 7.12 grams, a diameter of 25.9 millimeters, and struck in copper-plated steel. A change from the earlier bronze composition, which had been discontinued due to rising metal costs. It is these kinds of material evolutions, quietly implemented over time, that often escape the notice of the public but are etched into the minds of coin experts. But in the case of the 2008 era coin, it wasn't the metal that captured attention. It was the message, the words, the surprising presence of new pence. In a year when it should no longer exist. As interest in the coin grew, so did its mystique. Major auction houses began taking notice, and prices began to surge. One example surfaced in pristine, uncirculated condition, preserved without a scratch, as though fate had saved it for the right moment. The bidding was fierce. Collectors from around the world, particularly those with a fascination for British coinage, entered the fray. When the hammer finally dropped, the final sale price stunned everyone, a staggering amount, completely unthinkable for a humble 2-pence coin. But that was only the beginning. In the years since, the value of the 2008 new pence, 2-pence coin has continued to rise. Its notoriety has earned it a near mythical status. Coin fairs, online forums, and collectors' catalogues frequently reference it as one of the crown jewels of modern British-era coins. For newer collectors, it represents a dream, the chance to find treasure in the most unexpected place. For seasoned numismatists, it is a case study in how history, design, and human oversight can converge to produce something truly extraordinary. The demand for the coin has not waned. In fact, as more collectors become aware of its rarity, interest only intensifies. And with so few known examples confirmed to exist, some estimates suggest fewer than 20 verified in private hands, the market has responded with unprecedented enthusiasm. Every so often, a new specimen surfaces, creating waves across the collecting world. When such a coin appears in an auction, bidders don't see just a piece of metal. They see history, opportunity, prestige, and the possibility of owning one of the rarest era coins ever struck in Britain. Even beyond the realm of numismatics, the story of the 2008 2-pence coin has captivated the media. Articles in newspapers and coin magazines have highlighted its rise from obscurity to global fame. Its tale has been shared on television segments and YouTube channels, including this very one, HD Ultra Rare Coins, where we dive deep into the legends of rare and valuable coinage. There is something inherently exciting about the idea that a coin worth just 2 pence might one day be worth millions. It challenges the assumptions of everyday life, reminds us that hidden value can exist where we least expect it. For the collector who found one of these rare coins in their change, it was a life-altering moment. For the investor who secured one at auction, it was the acquisition of a treasure. Top 4. In the quiet hum of British history, few coins speak louder than the humble yet extraordinary 1980 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. A coin so ordinary in appearance, yet so drenched in heritage, mystery, and unexpected value, it continues to capture the imagination of collectors and historians across the globe. What makes this coin, small in size, copper in tone, worth millions today? The story begins not with wealth, but with legacy, transition, and a moment in time. It was the year 1980. Margaret Thatcher had just stepped into Downing Street as the first female Prime Minister. Britain was at a crossroads, economically shaky, politically fiery, and socially evolving. Amidst the tension and transformation, everyday objects carried quiet symbols of stability, and none more so than the coins in one's pocket. Among them was a gleaming piece struck by the Royal Mint, a 2-pence coin bearing the enduring profile of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. No one could have guessed that this very coin, especially a particular issue from that year, would decades later command an astronomical value. To understand the importance of the 1982 pence, we must look at the broader tapestry of British decimalisation. In 1971, the UK officially moved away from the centuries-old system of pounds, shillings, and pence to a streamlined decimal currency. The new system brought in fresh designs and denominations, including the 2-pence coin. First minted in bronze, the 2-pence was larger than many of its counterparts, and instantly recognizable thanks to its bold lettering and regal design. But it was more than a monetary tool, it became a cultural symbol of Britain's transition into a modern financial identity. The obverse of the 1982 pence coin features the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Mackin. In this elegant profile, the Queen wears the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a symbol of grace and continuity. This portrait was used on British coins from 1968 to 1984 and remains one of the most cherished representations of Her Majesty. Mackin's depiction captures the calm confidence of the monarch during a rapidly shifting age. When you hold the coin and let light play across its polished face, it's not just metal, it's history sculpted into form. Turn the coin over, and you're greeted with the original reverse design by Christopher Ironside. At its center rests the badge of the Prince of Wales, consisting of a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encased in a coronet. Below, a ribbon bears the motto, Ich diene, which translates from German as, I serve. It's a striking emblem, both traditional and noble, steeped in centuries of heraldic significance. The design stayed on the 2-pence coin until 2008, when it was replaced by a section of the royal shield. But in 1980, the badge stood proudly alone, symbolizing duty, royalty, and lineage. Though millions of 2-pence coins were produced in 1980, not all were created equal. This is where the story takes a twist, and mystery begins to unfold. Among the standard circulation coins, a small, almost imperceptible batch was struck with slight differences, minting errors, experimental batches, or presentation sets that were never released to the public. One theory suggests that a tiny number of these coins were minted using experimental dies, potentially for use in overseas territories or as test pieces for future-proof sets. Others whisper of accidental minting variations, with anomalies so subtle they escape the untrained eye, double strikes, off-metal issues, or design misalignments. These rare variations slip through the royal mint unnoticed, eventually finding their way into the hands of keen-eyed collectors or remaining buried in old tins, drawers, or forgotten purses for decades. Over time, numismatists began to identify unique markers on certain 1982 pence coins, unusual spacing and lettering, slight font irregularities, differences in the bead ring, or minute changes in the relief. These tiny details, invisible to most, set the valuable coins apart from their common cousins. It wasn't until the 2000s that collectors began to truly appreciate the significance of these specific 1980 variants. Auction houses in London, New York, and Hong Kong began seeing a spike in demand for Elizabeth II 2-pence coins from the 1980 issue. As word spread through the numismatic community, prices began to climb. What was once a coin of mere copper alloy now attracted offers in the thousands. Then tens of thousands. Then more. The frenzy peaked when a pristine specimen of the 1982 pence coin, confirmed to be part of a rare and possibly trial minting batch, surfaced at an elite auction in Geneva. The bidding was fierce. Private collectors, royal enthusiasts, and even institutional buyers competed for ownership. The hammer eventually fell at a staggering $39 million, catapulting the coin into legend and securing its place among the most valuable modern coins ever sold. What makes this even more astonishing is how easily such a coin can be overlooked. It's not golden. It bears no diamond inlay. It's not encrusted in gems or wrapped in velvet. It's a simple bronze coin, smaller than a biscuit, with designs every British citizen once saw daily. And that's the beauty of it. In a world obsessed with flash and excess, this coin proved that rarity, historical context, and quiet elegance can still outshine the glitter of gold. The collector who bought the coin chose to remain anonymous, but whispers in the community suggest the buyer is a prominent European noble with deep ties to royal memorabilia. Rumors abound that the coin now rests in a private museum within a fortified estate in the countryside, guarded not only by vaults but by centuries of family legacy. So why exactly is this coin worth such a fortune? It boils down to 3 crucial factors: rarity, condition, and story. The 1982 pence in question is believed to be one of only a handful surviving in near-perfect condition with its specific minting anomaly. The Royal Mint has not officially confirmed the number of these special coins minted, or even acknowledged their existence, further adding to their allure. The coin is also an artifact of a pivotal moment in British political and monetary history, embodying an era of transformation under Queen Elizabeth II. Numismatics, at its core, is not just about collecting metal discs. It's about time travel. It's about holding the past in the palm of your hand. The 1982 pence coin takes us back to a Britain trying to redefine itself, to a queen who reigned with quiet dignity, and to a royal mint that sometimes, whether by accident or genius, created treasure. Collectors around the world have since turned their attention to their own jars and piggy banks, hoping to stumble upon a piece of the past that might just be worth a fortune. Coin dealers report being flooded with inquiries, while online marketplaces have seen a surge in 2-pence coin listings. Yet among them, only a select few, perhaps just one in millions, hold the secret that could change a life forever. This phenomenon has also sparked new conversations about the importance of preserving coins, not just for value but for heritage. Coin grading services have reported a rise in submissions from individuals who, years ago, would have considered such coins worthless. Museums are also taking interest, recognizing the cultural and historical significance of modern coins, not just ancient Roman or medieval specimens. Today, the 1980 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin stands as a testament to how the everyday can become extraordinary. It reminds us that history is not confined to textbooks or palaces, it lives in the smallest things. In pockets, in forgotten drawers, and in the memories of those who once used them to buy a bus fare or a newspaper. From a coin that might once have bought a bar of chocolate to a treasure now valued at $39 million, the journey of the 1982 pence is not just about monetary gain. It's a symbol of discovery, patience, and the thrill of unearthing something timeless. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary object can hold within it the power to astonish, to inspire, and to rewrite the rules of value. So, the next time you come across an old coin, whether tucked in the corner of your wallet or hiding beneath your sofa cushion, take a closer look. You might just be holding history. Or, if you're incredibly lucky, a fortune. And that, dear viewers, is the incredible story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 1980, an unassuming coin that proved to the world that sometimes, greatness comes in the smallest, quietest form. From the bustling streets of London to private vaults behind iron gates, this humble bronze piece now sits on a pedestal of global admiration and awe. For collectors, it's the ultimate dream. For historians, a priceless relic. And for the rest of us, a beautiful reminder that stories, just like coins, are often more valuable than they first appear. Thanks for watching HD Ultra Rare Coins. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories hidden in your pocket change. And who knows? You might just be holding the next $39 million marvel.